It is super odd to look at people in only a perverted way. I don't think I need to tell anyone that, but you might be doing it instinctively and you may not even know it. So I kind of had this issue a lot growing up in high school that I noticed, just a few years down the line, especially when I was in college, my early years, that you tend to act in a perverted way if you are exposed to, I guess, like sexual content early on in life. And it tends to have like a lot of lustful thoughts that you start to think about, and you don't really notice how your eyes are moving, what you're thinking, and how that might affect you in the long run. So I want to talk about that today. So the first thing is addiction, right? If you are exposed to porn at an early age, or whatever sort of other content is equivalent to that for you, you kind of have this mindset shift. You kind of think like there are these expectations that these porn stars they kind of set how the setting is when you're actually in the bedroom is one thing. The second thing is how you should act around other people, and three is like I guess like the physical requirements or circumstances is like the third thing, right? So you kind of have this mindset shift in the sense that you have really bad standards that are being set in your brain, and you have things that are basically incorrect for you to go up and approach people and act in this sort of way, right? And so there's kind of a difference between being admirable and being perverted in that sense. Like I said, I don't think I need to tell you guys the difference, but being admirable is appreciating somebody for how they physically look, how, you know, they got big biceps, they got a big ass, whatever it may be. Like this guy over here, like I can admire this guy. He has really big forearms, right? He looks pretty like physically built and stuff like that. I can admire that and I like that about him. But it does not mean I'm going to go up to him at the gym and I'm going to, ask him out, or I'm going to always be looking at, his forearms all the time and stuff like that, right? So it's like where your eyes are looking and what you're thinking about in the moment, right? And everyone has lustful thoughts, right? There's no avoiding that. Everyone has done something in some sort of way that provokes it or watched something. And long over, I guess, like a period of time, it's really unhealthy in general. But it's not to say that you can always completely stop these sort of thoughts. Like there's going to be times where you just like, oh, this person walked by, oh my god, like wow, like that person is really hot, right? But there's a difference between acting upon it in a perverted way and thinking about it long term versus admiring that person in the moment, right? And so we have to kind of distinguish the two. But I think long term, if you are addicted and you kind of have this really bad mindset of how you look at people, how you're viewing them, it's kind of the similar way, like you're viewing a person as an object rather than an actual person themselves, like with emotional attachments in some sort of way, right? So like that kind of object versus human sort of thing. So as a result of this mindset and addiction, you kind of might have like low self-esteem or like confidence. Like you're not really confident to go up to people. You're kind of just sitting in the background. You're just looking at them, admiring them, or being perverted in some sort of way. And that might take a toll on you long term, right? Because you're never confident to go, approach somebody. But then you watch porn, and then these expectations. So you need to improve yourself, but you never improve, and then it's kind of like this big cycle, right? So yeah, an example of this is kind of dating apps. Dating apps really treat people as just objects in a sense, right? It kind of feeds into your addiction because, to be honest, looks do matter in a lot of the cases, right? Because average girls want above average guys, or vice versa, or the trend, so to speak. Flame me in the comments if you want, but I think this is a general trend, right? But looks matter, definitely, for sure, 100%, no doubt about it. If there's a guy that is, I don't know, shorter, taller, whatever it may be, and he's not as good looking, but he could improve his looks, they're probably not going to choose you. I'm going to be real. I know this because I used to be a fat fuck, and I went to the gym and I did a lot of skincare routines, and I still don't think I look the best, but I definitely look a lot different and look a lot better, I think, than I did 4 years ago, right? So I'm not going to tell you that looks don't matter. But it definitely, like, these are the sort of things you think about when you're on the app. It's literally just a marketplace to go hook up with people, right? Is that really the position you want to be like 4 years down the line when you graduate college, or you join the workforce or something like that, and you're an adult, like a full fledged, like in college, calling yourself an adult is like very lenient at this point, right? So you really want to be in that mindset where you're always thinking about who can I hook up with, or do you really want to look long term and genuinely think about who is the ideal person that I want to be with? And I think like if you go do your thing, and after it you're kind of just like blue ball syndrome, right? Kind of just thinking about, oh my god, like why did I do that? Like I feel so bad about myself. I could be doing something that is like much more productive. I should be actually like that is very real, right? But I think like in the moment we feel, or guys in general, I don't know about girls, feel in general this sort of syndrome, but you should apply that syndrome for your entire like life, like in every moment, sort of thing. Like if you think about something like that, something that's lustful or perverted, right? Because then you're kind of just like, oh shit, that was like really wrong. Like I shouldn't have done that. Cool. Let's go over an example at the gym. I think the gym is a really good, I guess, like place that you can apply this sort of example. So let's say, we're this guy right here, right? He's cool. He's pretty built, whatever it may be. And a girl walks by. You could be like, this girl is hot versus, I don't know, like some genuine emotion that you have. Like you never met this person. So like, yeah, sure, they're hot, but you know nothing about them. For all you know, they could be a witch that came back like from, 1482 and is out to get your ass, right? You don't know what this person is like. It's okay to admire this person, right? But it is not okay to, put themselves as an object, objectify them in some sort of way, and basically just be like, "Well, I would do X, Y, Z, or maybe I should go up and ask her out, or I should do, whatever it is that you may be thinking in your head. I don't fucking know, and I don't care." But immediate lust escalation in that sense is natural. But the action that you think about, or an action that you take, and whatever you think about, is probably not all right. It's okay to, obviously to go ask somebody out if you, have the confidence, that sort of thing. But it should be for the right reasons. Like shoot your shot for the right reasons, not because only this person is hot, right? That's just kind of feeding into your lust. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have lustful thoughts. Well, I mean, in general, like you probably shouldn't. It's not a good thing in general. But I'm saying it's harder to control in this sense, right? And at the gym, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like people are generally more fit, more attractive in that sense. If you think going to the gym is attractive, I don't know. It's just an example that I thought of, and I think it's just a good example of this sort of thing. Um, but I've explained all of these sort of like mindset shifts. How you might be addicted to, I guess, these lustful thoughts, and you might not realize about them. So what do you do about this? So eliminating them is pretty hard, but I think the first step is obviously if you are watching any explicit sexual content in any sort of way, block it. It's a lot harder. It's like a lot easier said than done, sort of thing. It takes people a very long time, especially if you've been exposed to it like at a young age, um, to sort of like stop. And there's like whole apps and stuff like that that I would recommend. But just block the sites, and start counting days, like how many, how much you watch it, how can you reduce it. Just think of some methods that you think would work for yourself. But just blocking the sites in general, like keep yourself accountable. Um, Analyze your interactions that you have with other people on a daily basis, right? Let's say you have some female friends or you interact with somebody, I don't know, at the grocery store, right? What is it that you're thinking in the moment? Are you thinking about, the genuine conversation that you're having with this person, or are you just looking at their ass, right? That's kind of like the sort of thing that you need to be like consistently thinking about how, you interact with other sort of people. And obviously, I'm talking about in most cases, like this is a very extreme. Like you are always looking at somebody and you're always lustful and you have all of these thoughts, right? But if I'm being honest, that's probably not the case for most people. Most of the time, you might just be like, oh, this person, is attractive, or this is just my female friend, and I don't think about that about her, or somebody else I might think about that, right? So analyze your interactions very carefully, um, because you could have some genuine interest in somebody and not have lustful thoughts at all, right? You just like this person, right? They're a friend, right? Cool. You're either your enemy, right? If you're looking around, you're always consistently looking around. Like I said, like very high end case. Try not to. I don't know. It's like very much self control sort of thing, and it's honestly really hard to get over. I learned that the hard way coming into college, right? I found this quote. I don't know where. I don't think this is the exact one, but it's pretty on point. Lust is what keeps you wanting to act even when you have no desire to be with each other. Plain and simple. Very straight to the point. Very true. I don't know. Analyze that and take that with you will. And standards. And I don't mean like the standards like this person needs to have XYZ and this person needs to make this salary, materialization, like sort of stuff. What I mean is, do you have a genuine interest in this person and why? And does that align with what you believe in? I think values and goals definitely come first in a person. Um, like this person can be the most attractive, person ever, but if they're a compulsive liar and their prospect is to, I don't know, mow lawns for a living. I mean, for me personally, I probably wouldn't be too apt about that because I want somebody that is future looking and about their prospects and wanting to develop themselves, sort of thing. That's just me personally, but I think it's also very reasonable for somebody that, oh, I like this person's personality so much, I don't really care if they, I don't know, work at McDonald's for their entire life. I think that's also valid as well, right? Um, so yeah, it's okay to be be reasonable about it, but also be picky about I guess like the quality of person that you sort of like want to go out with or want to spend your life with or chat with. Like that kind of just goes for anyone in general. Like you don't want people around you that are probably compulsive liars, right? That's like an example. You probably want to surround yourself with like-minded and unlike-minded people, but just genuinely good people that can help you grow or I don't know, just people that are fun with, right? So yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier, but a general trend is like average girls don't want. Wait, average girls want above average. I said don't want, but yeah, this is like a general trend. It's like an issue between like both parties. I'm not gonna go too much into it. I saw this on a podcast, as well, some stats to back it up. But yeah, I don't know. A little bit controversial topic today-ish, but I think it's necessary to chat about because there's a lot of people that struggle with this sort of issues. It's not really talked about much. There's a bunch of resources for it, so if this applies to you, please like the video. We have a Discord link in the bio if you made it this far. Good luck.